Why do I think the leak is fake, and why do I want the leak to be fake? That's what we're going to discuss in this video. I knew that you guys mostly just wanted to hear about the leak, and I didn't want to make the last video any longer than it already was. So I want to use this follow-up video to elaborate on some things regarding this new leak. Let me first clarify this. I don't believe this new leak is legit. In fact, I only believe the first ever leak from April last year, but only because so many key points have been proven correct since. Which is why I believe that leak when it says there will be a sequel. The new license for the Jurassic World survival game, Aftermath, seems just the latest bit of information in support of that leak. Now, I did not even believe that leak when it first released. I don't believe any leaks or rumors, really. They might support my own suspicions, which is why I won't necessarily think that the predictions will not come true, but until proven otherwise, I would never take a leak as fact or expect it to come from a reputable source. So this new leak, again, I don't believe. I could be proven wrong, just like last year's leak proved me wrong, but at the moment, I have no reason to put any faith in this leak, and I would caution you as well. Not just take it with a pinch of salt, not just dip and swirl it in salt, no, just, I don't know, step back and just wait for official news from Frontier. Now, some of you already agree with me that it's fake, but others believe it's real, and the rest of you just hope it is real. In this video, I want to better explain why I think it is fake, and really go through it point by point, and then at the end also explain why I hope it is fake. I already touched on this in my earlier video, but I just want to elaborate a little bit. The leak says, back in January, a contemporary of mine leaked some vital information. Contemporary is not a good word to use in this context. We are all contemporaries of each other because we all live in the same time period. That's what that word means. It's a very unusual word to use, and I don't know why it's used because it doesn't say anything. We're all contemporaries. But I surmise that the leaker used this term because they mistook it to mean something else. I think they were trying to allude to a connection between themselves and other leaks to put up a facade of credibility, when in fact the odd word undermines the credibility. It sounds like a young person or maybe a non-native English speaker trying to sound more official than they actually are. The leaker first presents information that even they themselves cannot verify and do not even believe. If you are devoted to spreading the truth and possibly even risking your job for it, why would you start by trying to spread a rumor about how Frontier is handling matters in response to previous leaks when you admit yourself that you don't have any actual information about this? To me, it reads like scripted reality TV, meaning to say it's not real at all, but boy do people sit through a lot of commercials to gobble up the drama. I think this mention was a cheap way to stir up drama, painting Frontier higher-ups as prison wardens fighting to keep everything secret, which feeds into a view many people already have on Frontier that they don't share enough information. The leak says, our Jurassic World Evolution team, suggesting that this person is part of that team. That knowledge makes everything about this leak very strange. It lines up with the failed attempt at aligning themselves with the leak from January, with the whole contemporary situation, which was also presented as coming from someone inside the company, as they said things like, "we are" and "we believe." But it doesn't match with the information given in this particular leak. If this person is on the team, why do they know so little? Why do they, for example, have so little information about a DLC that's apparently coming out in June? If an inside man were to give an info dump, surely he'd have more to say than what this leak includes. As I discussed in my earlier video, this leak pretending that Jurassic Planet was entertained as an option for a title largely discredits the leak for me. When you think of Frontier and of the word planet, you think of Planet Zoo and Planet Coaster. I don't think Universal would consider marrying their Jurassic IP with the Planet IP. And flipping the words around doesn't change much in that regard. As someone pointed out in the comments, Jurassic Planet could just refer to the dinosaurs taking over the world, the planet, as will be the crux of Dominion. But the association with the word planet is too strong in this context. Also, I don't think the game sequel will have a name tying into the movie sequel. Jurassic World Evolution released alongside Fallen Kingdom. There was no tie-in in the titles there. Cataclysm I also take offense with, just because it sounds like those cheesy movie titles that were floating around before it was confirmed the third Jurassic World movie would be called Dominion. There's also no reason for the game title to tie in with the movie, because the game will still be a park builder. So it doesn't have to deal with dinosaurs taking over the world, it doesn't have to reference that. Moving on. The leak says there will be one more DLC for this game, a dinosaur pack. 3 dinosaurs, none of them known. Target date June 11. Hearing that there is still something coming is exactly what the community has been hoping for, so that's pretty convenient. I think it's a way of making this leak a little bit easier for people to swallow by giving them that small spark of hope. Saying the target date is June 11 creates a superficial sense of authenticity, because they are providing an exact date. But they are saying it's merely the target date, so they're not putting their hands in fire for anything. Considering everyone's working from home now, it's reasonable to forgive a little delay on any project, so the leaker gives himself a very wide window of time. If something were to even release in July, he could still claim, "See, I told you something was coming, they were just delayed. It was only a target date after all." And what is that something? A dinosaur pack, no specifications at all, just 3 dinosaurs. Which is weird coming from someone who considers themselves part of the Jurassic World Evolution team. Our Jurassic World Evolution team. But I guess he already covered that in the first line of the leak, didn't he? He said Frontier is now very careful with what they share and with whom. I think that's just someone being very sly and hiding themselves behind that. Most people, myself included, have still been expecting a dinosaur pack to be coming to the game. Not to mention that the leak from January implied this as well. Everyone knows that a dinosaur pack consists of 3 dinosaurs. That's always been the case. So again, there's no real revelation here. There's nothing scrumptious. There's nothing to really bite down on. It's all just hot air. This point about the pre-rendered lagoon and aquarium I want to get back to when I discuss why I want this leak to be fake. The final point sounds very cool. I'm not gonna lie, it's very cool, it's the coolest. It seems a bit ahead of the development curve to me, seeing as this Jurassic World Evolution team is still in the early phase of development, but granted, the idea might have been pitched and accepted. However, once more, this idea comes straight from the community itself. The part about dinosaurs digging or climbing their way out of an enclosure has been talked about a lot. Especially months ago, around the release of Return to Jurassic Park, when it was noted that one of the fences has an anti-climbing feature. The idea of dinosaurs being able to dig, I've even seen flown around since the Dryosaurus was introduced, probably stemming from the fact that the Dryo from the Isle can famously burrow. And then the idea of a small herbivore becoming depressed and dying of depression rather than escaping is something I saw a post about on the subreddit only a few weeks ago. I wish I had the patience to find it. If someone can find it, that'd be awesome. But seriously, this was something that was posted only a couple of weeks ago. A recurring problem with this leak? They are playing into things the community already knows or suspects and what they have already been vocal about wanting. So it seems like someone observed the community and based the leak on that, as opposed to basing it on actual inside information. Overall, I just think that this leaker is someone in tune with the community and who is bored out of their mind while being stuck in quarantine. And they decided to stir things up with this leak. And I don't really want to give them what they want and give them attention, but I am committed about spreading awareness that this leak is most likely fake, before it gets out of hand and the news spreads so far that people don't even know that it comes from a leak. They instead mistake it to be from Frontier themselves. I see this going around on the subreddit, the forums, but especially in my own comment section, and I just don't want people to be misinformed, and I especially don't want people to be disappointed or to be angry with Frontier for something that they didn't promise. Okay, now on to the second part of this video, why I want the leak to be fake. I already strongly suspected that there will be a Jurassic World Evolution sequel to give us features that the current game painfully lacks, such as more customization options, decorations, terrain manipulation, larger islands, better dinosaur AI, better guest AI, and water with a 3D volume to allow for swimming. Most of these things can't be done through DLCs for the current game. It's not Frontier being selfish or greedy. A lot of these things just can't be done with the current game. So I would welcome a sequel with open arms. And Frontier knows that. It's only logical to follow up on your most successful release with a sequel. So I don't need this leak to be right about that. I don't need this leak to be true for me to have faith in a Jurassic World Evolution sequel, because I am confident that a sequel will happen regardless of the credibility of this leak. And this leak being false also wouldn't mean that we wouldn't get a better escape mechanism for small dinosaurs, so I'm okay with leaving that in the wind as well. However, what I have a problem with is that if this leak is true, then it means only one more DLC for the current game, and I don't want that. It could be a year or maybe even 2 years before we'd get the next movie and the next game. I'd certainly hope that Frontier would give us a little bit more than just one dinosaur pack to tide us over in the meantime. And worse still, if this leak is true, it means that marine reptiles will be implemented in the sequel the same way as the aviary we have currently. In my opinion, that's unacceptable and inexcusable. And I really think and hope Frontier would know better than to try and make us swallow that after the past 2 years of complaining about a lot of things, and one of the things being that. The aviary we have is brilliant considering the limitations of the game we have. If you want to make a sequel with added value, you just can't keep making the same mistakes. You actually have to improve on what's wrong with the game we have. And one of the things is to support the new game with a game engine that can handle water as a 3D volume, and even maybe handle air as a 3D volume, so that when the pterosaurs escape, they can actually attack people just like the other dinosaurs. And if that's implemented, we could add our mosasaur in any body of water, which is what we want. We want that customization. And not just being able to place a clunky, pre-designed aquarium or lagoon to drop them into. Having a 3D volume for water would also allow the rest of the dinosaur roster to interact with water more realistically. I mean, a game like Path of Titans, which is, as I understand it, largely crowdfunded, can have swimming and even diving dinosaurs, but a company backed and funded by Universal can't cut it? Come on. It would be a total and utter embarrassment, and I think Frontier knows that, and I hope that that will at least drive them to do better for a sequel. Because if they aren't going to make the sequel better, then I'd agree with those that say the game doesn't need a sequel, and that a sequel is only a cash grab. However, a sequel is the only way to make actual improvements to the game to boost the longevity of the game. And I'd hope that Frontier will make use of that opportunity. Right, so now you know why I think it's fake and why I hope it's fake. Let me know in the comments if you believe this leak or not, and regardless, whether you'd want it to be true or not. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like and subscribe for more. Thank you so much for watching this video, and until next time, enjoy the game.